everyone that's here or on the replay crew, just close your eyes. I'm going to adjust the camera. I say camera, but really it's my phone. I like to have it so you guys can see what's going on, but you really don't need to be looking at my kneecaps. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then we'll put this. Does that look good? That looks good. Trying a little bit different today. I have my laptop over to the right. Good morning, Anna. Anna's over by me, not too far away. 80 kilometers just makes it sound so much further away, of course, because it's a bigger number. There we are. Oh, you can see the laptop too. Hello, hello. You can see, if anyone's curious, this is where I put my phone when I do my Whip It Wednesdays, so I can sit here. We'll probably use that also for any like cross stitch things. I don't know. You guys really don't want to see, I don't know if you want to see my face with my big old magnifying glasses on, but we'll see. Bettina, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me just get rid of extra stuff here. The mouse always goes to sleep. And then it takes, as a content creator, YouTube puts all kinds of just weird stuff down below that I have no need for at this moment. But thank you, YouTube, for sharing with me. As we get a few more people in, you guys see the directions. You guys can see the title, Using Scrap Fabrics to Make Rainbow Scrappy Fabric Baskets, Part 1. We'll get in a little bit more to it once I like to wait until we hit like 20 or 25 people. Give everyone around the 11 o'clock time to start popping in. But we're playing with scrap fabrics. This time we are playing with Christmas. I have what I call my neck migraines. My neck has been bothering me for several days now, and it's right up into the migraine territory, and it's like, it's just making functioning hard. My head hurts, my neck hurts, and my stomach is turning from it. But I want to hang out with you guys, so we're doing a super simple project that I don't have to think, and we'll do part 2 on the next live stream, which will be on June 1st. And I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm back here behind the table just kind of doing short pacing because that makes me feel better. Sometimes you just can't stand still. I stay here at the table so much during the day that it's nice to just get and move around a little bit. And excuse me, of course, because everything else is going on. My asthma's bothering me, so I might have to cough a lot because mine causes a little breathing problems, but it makes me cough a lot. Which is probably why they call it cough variant asthma, right? So is anyone doing anything fun this weekend? I know it's really getting into the nice weather for a lot of people. I think almost everyone that should have spring is starting to feel the spring. I wonder how much of a delay I have on this video. Let me see. Oh, that's not too bad. Sometimes I have to refresh my page if I've had it up before the video goes live because there's too much of a delay and it takes a long time. Last year before the move, I sold a lot of my Christmas scraps. I probably had about 2.5, 3 of these large Ziploc baggies. These are the really good ones with the handle for like storing stuff and the Ziploc. They're really sturdy. This is the large size. It's 15 by 15 or 38.1 centimeters by 38.1. Hello again, Giovanna. I'm so glad you can come hang out with us this late at night. Giovanna, tell us what time it is. It's almost 11 a.m. here in Arizona. Hi, Jackie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a good day. Jackie's not too far from me either. I did have a lot of Florida peeps, but I was really surprised because a lot of the Arizona peeps just either didn't tell me they were from Arizona until we talked about it, or a lot of people are lurkers. I love my lurkers because I lurk all the time too. Nearly 8 p.m. Well, yeah, we are way I'm already way behind because I'm 3 hours behind Florida. So now when I have, let me see, my son Justin, I can tell you guys now, and I'll try not to cry again, but my son Justin moved back to Florida. During the last live stream that I cried, that's why, because he moved. Hello from Palm Bay, Agnes. He moved back to Florida. So I have my son Justin, who's in Fort Myers, Florida, 3 hours ahead. My daughter Miranda is currently in Columbia, South Carolina. Anyway, she's in South Carolina, so she's now 3 hours ahead. She used to be in Illinois, which was 2 hours ahead. And I'm out here in Arizona with my son Robbie, and we are 3 hours. So it's really kind of, sometimes when I think, I'm like, okay, oh, it's 7 o'clock at night, it's not too late, I'm going to talk to my kids. I'm like, no, because it's 10 p.m. there and you don't know what they're doing. And this whole time difference is, thanks, Giovanna. The whole time difference is just weird. Considering my oldest kids lived at home until they were 25 and 28, it's been kind of hard. You are assembling an ironing station because you're tired of the big ironing board. I haven't used one of those metal ironing boards in so long. I had one and I put it to the road when I sold my house because every time it's too big to leave laying out and you don't always need it to like iron yardage. So when I would open it, no matter how much I sprayed it, it would screech and the cats would freak out and go running. I do like having, you can see my mat right here. So this is my ironing station. It probably pops up every now in videos. I know my patrons have seen my ironing station next door, and I like that. And then I always have other ironing things that I can bring into the table here. I really enjoy having portable ironing things that I can move around. When I was living at the kids' house in Florida, I would just put this ironing thing either on my chair or on my bed, and it was really nice and convenient. I would like, I'm fine with what I have. I'm really happy with it. But I think if I had a larger space, the ironing station could be a little wider, a little more square, so that I can move the ironing thing around and have it in different directions. But I think before that, I was thinking about it yesterday, I would want another sewing and cutting station. I really would love to have a separate spot for a cutting and assembly type station and then just sew here. Because right now I sew, this is where my sewing machine goes. I moved it. This is my little brother, and then I have my Juki right in front, and this is where I sit and sew. So I'm all the way over here in the corner, and then I come over here, and when I put my table on my Juki, it comes way out. So I would like to have another one of these tables. Yeah, I don't iron clothes either, Giovanna, but sometimes if you need to like iron yardage and stuff, or you're working on a big project, it's nice. This is just a wooden board from one of those TV dinner trays. So I put tin foil on it, there's batting on it, and at this point there's 2 layers of fabric because instead of taking the old one off, I just put the new one on. It's held on by safety pins, and this is the clear packing tape just to hold all the edges down. And I like this one for doing anything with the fusible. I was working on fabric postcards a couple weeks back. You guys might remember the scrappy ones from Whip It Wednesday. And I put my fusible interfacing glue side down, and I just put all my fabric on. I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm just gluing a little bit so my iron doesn't touch it. Oh, I'm doing so good. I went to pick it up to flip it over, and all my fabric fell over because I glued it to this. At least it comes up really easy. Yeah, I think these are great. I've seen the ones where you can take those metal ironing boards and then you put wood on it and you put wood strips so it sits on there and it's that giant pressing station like that. And I think that's a really great idea too. I have other priorities than to worry about pressing stations. Like I said, I'm happy with what I have, but I think in a different room I might want to adjust it. I'm really looking at a way to do a design wall. Now, if I put the community blocks on the back of my door, I can have a design wall, just a piece of flannel or a tablecloth that comes down in front of the black bookcase, and then I can roll that up when I'm not using it. Yeah, having the space for things, it's hard. The apartment size things where you can have your ironing board that comes out of the wall and you have a little ironing board, I think that's a really great idea. You need to have the space to bring it down, but then when you're not using it, it's good. It's kind of like those tables, like my little table where the sides fold down, so it's really nice. All right, so it's almost 11 o'clock. We have over 20 people. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I have an example. I put it somewhere. Where did I put my example? Oh, here it is. A while back, someone was really sweet and they sent me a Halloween basket with some Halloween scraps. Now, I've used some of the scraps and added to them. This one's a really fun one. I really like that one. That one's fun. I love the color and stuff. But so they sent me these scraps, the basket, and I thought, wow, we've made the fabric baskets like this and the Easter baskets, but just looking at the shape of this, and there was some fat quarters in here, it's like the perfect size. Hi, Sandy. Oh, we got a lot of Florida people today. It's really kind of funny because I didn't think about how many Florida people we had, like I said before, until I got here, and now I see the Florida people. But anyway, so I thought this was a really good size. I liked how narrow it was, and I was thinking, I want to take all of my small scraps. Let me show you. Is my cord going to let me go? Come on. I've got the long microphone on because, of course, I still haven't tried the cordless one yet. But things like my blue scraps, I have a lot of these tiny scraps. So I was thinking that I would do like we did with the last live stream, and we made the rainbow piece of fabric that I made cards out of. I'm just over here trying to fix something. There we go. So I've always wanted to do it since I had this. I thought it would be really fun to make a fabric basket. For a while, I'm like, no, I don't want the fabric. I don't want to use my scraps. I don't want to waste them. I like the plastic bins. Fabric is a little, like this. Hi, Pearl Medina, California. Hello. Giovanna, you like the rainbow one? I actually worked on the cards. Oh, this stupid microphone cord. Hold on. I'm trying to tuck it underneath my other wool mat to hold it down. So I did work on my cards, and it was a good nighttime thing. I found some really thin polyester thread, so the colors didn't compete, because the first one I did, I don't know where it is now, but I did one with white thread, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I just went ahead and I matched the colors up the best as I could. So I finished those one night, well, last night, the night before, whenever, and I still have a decent stack to work on, but I have the ones for my patrons that are going to be ready to go out soon, so that's fun. Okay, so yeah, so I thought, now when I have all these small pieces, let me make a piece of fabric like the rainbow, and I'll turn it into this basket. Right now I have sorry about all my right nows, but I have, let me show you So here's what I have a lot of my scraps in. I have a large basket like this, and then a smaller one. They're just the locker bins from the Dollar Tree. So I have a lot of blue scraps. You guys, you go through a lot of blue scraps, use a lot of blue, because you send me your scraps, and a lot of times they're blue, which I love, and I will never stop saving blue scraps. I just keep adding to it and then using more. It just means I need to make a blue quilt or project or something. There goes this darn cord again. So with those, I can only fit 2 big baskets and 1 medium-sized one across the black shelves. But with this, if I make the basket a little bit smaller than this, narrow-wise, and then a little bit longer this way, I can fit 4 across. And then I can just I have all my scraps for the most part. The bigger pieces lay nice and flat. The smaller ones need to be ironed before being used. So I took down all of my measurements, and I tried everything, and I did my math. And I have all the numbers to make the fabric basket. So I think you guys might want to have a little idea. Yeah, Giovanna, I don't know what it is, but blue just seems to, it seems to collect a lot. It's like a popular color, you know? I mean, it is really. So what I did is I measured my shelf. Excuse me, I measured my shelf from front to back. Now my shelf measures, I think it's 11 3/4 inches this way from the wall to here. So I want to make sure, yeah, it can be squished a little bit. So even this one, it can be squished. And just before I get too far going, I'm using Christmas scraps first because if I mess it up and I don't have the right numbers, then I don't mind having a weird Christmas one because it may or may not even make it onto the shelves. Once I have all these done, I should have more room to fit more. So I'll be able to bring in my stripes and my polka dots and then all of my colors in the holiday. So I thought I would do my Christmas one first. And I measured it and I figure if I keep my basket in this section here, between 11 1/2 and 11 3/4 at the longest, I'm good. And then I measured my shelf from left to right. And hi, Sue. Happy Saturday. From left to right, I don't remember what the numbers are, like 23 1/4, 23 1/2, or something like that. But if I make all of my baskets so that right here is 5 1/2 inches, give or take, I think I can go up to 5 3/4, but 5 1/2 leaves me room to move them on and off the shelf without them being, so if they get a little bit fat like this, I'll still have room to move them. So I'm like, okay, now the height, this height is perfect. I want to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and have more shelves cut. I'll just take my shelf up to them and I'll say, you know, I need 7 more of these. Because right now, some of my shelves are like this, and then some of them are this far apart just based on the holes in the wall, you know, on the side of the bookcase to put the little pegs in. So I want to be able to rearrange it and get some more shelves in there. And even if I have to make some shorter baskets to fit into it, or I can drill some holes into it, then that'll work out really well. So that's another option. But this height's pretty good. I don't need handles on mine because I just grab it like this. I know I don't really care for the handles, and I usually put them on the sides anyway. So then I measured all that. So what I did is I took my fun little tape measure here, and I measured it from the side up to here, and this one happens to be 19 inches. Now to make it really super easy, I'm going to make a quilted outside cover, and the inside bit I might just use some fat quarters or larger chunks. I'm not going to make the outside will be crummy, and then the inside will be just whatever fabric so I might happen to have. So if I'm doing a blue basket, it'll be blue here and blue here, and then I'm going to put binding around the top, and that's just going to make it super simple, a drop-in one. So that way I will free motion quilt the outside so I can get all of the seams down, because I'm not going to sew these. I'm just going to make it like the rainbow and overlap the scraps. And I want to put something on the inside like a medium weight interfacing, just to give it a little bit more structure. And then I can just drop it in and put binding on. Super simple. I'll cut out the corners. So I decided to cut out the corners. I'm going to go with 2.75 inches, 2 3/4, and that should give me about the 5 1/2 that I'm looking for, give or take. I think that's what I was going with. I know 2.75 and 2.75 don't give me 5 1/4, so I will adjust things as I go. But the main thing is I just needed to know how big to cut this P44F light fusible interfacing that we used for the rainbow. And by taking all of these measurements, this bag or bin or basket has a seam on the bottom. And I'm going to use 1 full piece of fabric, another good reason to have it drop in. So I measured it from seam here to seam here, and then figured out my numbers so that I can have it about 11 1/2 inches. And I'm going to oversize it. So for this one, if you want to follow along. Hi, Kathy. What color fabric would I like for scraps? I always seem to run out of yellows because I sew a lot of yellows. And I sew a lot of oranges, especially with Halloween and stuff. I like all color scraps. If anyone were to send me scraps, I would be happy with anything. Even with having so many blues, I just need to do more blue projects, that's all. I'll get through those blues pretty quick, especially with this, because a lot of my small blue strips will get used up on the basket. I am running a little low on pinks, and I always need things like a black fabric background with whites and pinks and stuff. One of the things that I need to purchase from the store, I just made an order a couple days ago on Etsy for low volume background fabrics so I can make more of those butterfly ones. I think I bought fat eights. I don't know how many. Yeah, I do have an awful lot of blue, Giovanna. But I don't want to ever say, oh, please. I don't want to be picky and say, no, don't send me any blues. Because sometimes you guys send some really beautiful fabric. And if I limited it, then, I wouldn't have those beautiful fabrics to play with. And I don't want anyone to spend extra time sorting through things, for me or something like that. You guys should never have to do extra work if you're trying to be nice and share something with me. So those are the colors I'm low on, but I am always happy to play with any colors that anyone has. I need to plug my little iron in. Making those scrappy rainbow cards, oh my goodness, the glue stick, I didn't even think about it. The glue stick comes through the fabric. I took my good Oliso Tula Pink iron, and I've got stains all over on the bottom of my iron. I've cleaned it a couple times, and it still has, let me show you what it looks like. It still has some stains on it. So I've been using an iron cleaner someone sent me to try out. It was one of the samples from the Missouri Star Advent box, I think. You see how it's got the little bits of stains on here? I can't feel anything on here. So it's like an actual color. It's not coming off on the fabric. All of these spots were much, much darker, like almost this black color. So I did get it pretty clean, and I'll clean it again. Let me show you the iron cleaner that someone shared with me, if I can find it real quick. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere for safekeeping. You know how it is, right? I do love this white drawered cabinet over here, and I think I would probably want to get another one of them. I want to get some of those little clear plastic drawers to sit on top to put small things like this in. So I used this. It did make me a little nervous because it comes out brown, and I kind of expected it to be white. And I looked on the Oliso site, and they said to go ahead and use an iron cleaner, so I used this. Oh, Sandy, that's what I need. I'm making a list because I didn't bring hardly anything with me, and I don't think I have any more Mr. Clean. So I need Mr. Clean erasers. We used a bunch of them when we moved to clean the walls and everything. So I'm making a Dollar Tree list because I haven't been to the Dollar Tree in a while. Hand sanitizer takes it off? Oh my goodness. Black is hard to get for fabric, yes. The blacks with the little, the background blacks with the colors on it. And I have a lot of white on whites, but I don't, again, it's the low volume neutrals that I'm trying to build up a stash on. Yeah, the Oliso with the nonstick plate and everything. I have to tell you, I have my little one here. I'll just pull it out. I was using this to iron my fabric. Let's pretend this was the big iron. Now they say, okay, it's not hot anymore. They say that they're not supposed to spurt water or anything. I let my big one come up to temperature so the light goes from red to green. And then I let it sit for a few more minutes. And every time I go to pick it up and steam with something, water comes out anyways. And then it's fine after a while. But no matter how long I let it sit and come to temperature, and I wait, that first time that I hit the steam, water always comes out. And I thought, that's awfully frustrating for as expensive as an iron as it is. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? It's got to be me. I never see anyone else talking about it online. So it's like, what have I done wrong? to make it spit like that. Hi, So Terry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, you use it to take glue off stickers. I hadn't thought about that on like water bottles and stuff. I'll have to give it a try. All right, so I got sidetracked as usual because we all know Robin likes to get off on topics. I cut this. That's why I took a lot of notes. I use one of these little notepads. You pick them up. I think I bought a pack of these from Amazon, but I know you can get them at like Dollar Tree and stuff. And I write down all my notes, and when I know a project works, I take it and I write it down in a different notebook so that I can go back and read it and I don't have to keep rewatching my videos and stuff. I cut this at, I needed it to be at least 17.75 by 19, and to compensate for the extra free motion quilting, because I want to quilt this really densely. One, to hold the scraps, and two, to make it firmer. So I cut this at 20 by 21. Because I was thinking with a project like this, since it's just a scrap bin, it really doesn't matter. I can always add a second piece on and extend it and make it bigger. So I'm not too worried about that. So that's a nice, simple way to work on this project. Let's put this where I won't melt the cord, and hopefully I won't burn myself. There we go. All right, using my, doesn't matter what you do to it, I've already glued the interfacing to it more than once. Hi, Kathy. I'm sorry I didn't see Kathy come in. Yes, I did. I talked to Kathy, didn't I? I'm sure I did. But always hi to everyone. If I don't see you, my apologies. I never mean to skip over people. My big, now old Rowenta, can't use water in anymore, can't trust it, but it works great. I like a spray bottle for some things, Terry, but I really do like a nice, hot, steamy iron. The big Oliso gets extremely hot, like burn my fingers. Even if I'm not pressing the steam is just on, and my hand is this far away. I get burnt all the time. It's very, very dangerous. The little one, while it does things, it just doesn't seem as hot or steamy, but I'm only comparing it to the previous iron. I have a rotary cutter and scissors in case I need to do anything weird like that. I'm going to make this, and then between the time of now and the next live stream on June 1st, I'm going to go ahead and put batting behind it and quilt it really good. I might Frankenpiece my batting. I might use whatever. It doesn't really matter if it's cotton or polyester, although I usually only carry cotton. Oh, we chat for sure. We chat for sure, don't we, Giovanna? Sometimes you guys follow me really well, and sometimes I lose a few people. But I always think when I'm editing my tutorials, I'm like, wow, does that even make sense to anyone? Because a 20-minute video, it might take me 4 hours to edit it. And sometimes after a bit, I'm like, I don't even understand what I'm talking about anymore. All right, so I'm thinking that, excuse me for 1 second. I have a lot of my scraps in here, and some of them are large and some of them are a little bit smaller, but I don't want to use my favorites that I'd like to put in a scrappy. I just want to make like a squares or little rectangles or flying geese. I don't need to do anything fancy, but I would like to make a just fun toss on the floor, drag around the house type of Christmas quilt. But on the bottom of this basket, you're not going to see what's on the bottom. So if I have something in here that I'm not like the most fond of, like I'm not sure, I think I kept this because I didn't think anyone would want this in their Christmas scrap. It's a red fabric with this gold on it and then the red back. If someone wants it, you know, shout out and let me know. I'll put it in an envelope and send it to you. I don't even think I want to put it in this basket. I just really don't like it. But if it's something you don't care for that much, you can put it on the bottom. So here we are. Feel it. Make sure you've got the glue side up. And then I'm just going to take some of my scrap fabrics here, and I will just start laying them down. I have these that are already sewn together. I don't know what they're from. Maybe I was doing Christmas crumbs, or I don't know. This could be from a register tape, one of the narrow ones. Who knows what I was working on. But I have these. So I'm thinking that I will want them to go along the sides like this maybe. So you remember if you have it here, it's going to go up like this. So if I have any that I want to face up, I have to put them upside down. So I think I'll start with these. And I also brought in my little Teflon sheet. Thank you, Jackie, because that's, a lot of people are like, oh, Robin, I don't cross stitch. I'll just join you for the chats when you do those live streams. And I'm like, I thank you very much, because that's really what we're going to do is we're just going to be chatting and stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be all about cross stitch. So anytime we're chatting like this, you guys can ask questions of me, of anyone in the comments, almost anything. I mean, you never know if you have a question about something. I mean, I don't really know much about horses, but I can help with a lot of things. Now, my snowman's one way and Santa's the other, but I feel like it's more important for Santa to be upright, but he would be on the side, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. You know how to solve that problem? I could cut out the snowman, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to leave this one here, and I will put my little Teflon sheet down just to make sure that even though this iron is really super easy to clean, it's already stained and everything. And if I go too close to the edge, I might cut it off for trimming after quilting. So I'll just put that there. The glue stuck to this, but if you can hear it, it just peels right off. This is for the kitchen ones from the Dollar Tree, those gold ones I bought last year. Whoops, see me not paying attention. I was reading the chats and I went right onto there. Another good thing about having a dirty cutting board is if you get glue on it, I just rub it on the edge and it takes it off while it's still warm. So I don't have to worry about it. So don't look at the chats. And then if I want, I'm trying to be really fancy and I want to have a matching one. So this would go like that. So we'll put that there. There. Great use of scraps. You guys know I save so many things. I don't save all the small pieces like I used to because I change how I do my cards. But you really could put your bits of thread on here. You could put the little cutoffs of your zippers. You can have ribbons and yarn and whatever, because these are just going to be fun scrappy baskets that's going to go on the shelf to hold other scraps. Excuse me, I have to get a piece of tissue. My nose won't stop now. I keep getting warnings on my phone that it's like bad air quality here and stuff because of all the pollen and allergies. I actually looked things up and I took notes because for those of you that aren't aware of, Florida and Arizona, there's so many things that are alike and so many things that are different. And my family and I like to tease. I'm sorry, my apologies if you guys have said this, but a lot of people are like, Robin, you do know that it gets hot in Arizona. And I'm like, yeah, it gets hot in Florida. So just to show a little comparison, right now it's 3 hours ahead in Florida. So 11, 12, 1, it's 2:30 about there. And I did this a little bit before I came on the live. So the Florida high today is supposed to be 94. So it was 94 at, say, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. Whatever. After lunch, it was 94 degrees. It's going to be the hottest part of the day. And their heat index means it feels like 103. The other day, yesterday, the day before, it felt like 109. So now today here in Arizona, it's supposed to get close to 100. It's currently 91 degrees, but the feel like temperature is 87 because it's always windy here. There you go, Jackie. I didn't even see that comment, and I just answered it anyway. See how good I am sometimes? So yeah, so it's really only 87 here. The problem I'm having is the sun is brutal. The sun is very strong, and it really puts off just the heat of the sun. I can just feel like when your face is getting a little sunburn, it kind of like feels like it's getting tight and you can just feel it getting hot. The actual heat of the day is not that big deal. We just don't go out in the sun very much. But the temperature wise, with the breeze, it feels really nice. Laundered cotton quilts. We'll see you on the replay. Thank you. So overall, it's not bad at all. Yeah, of course, it's the humidity that's doing it. And without having the humidity here, yes, it's hot. No doubt about it. I'm not wearing jeans or a hoodie or anything like that outside, but actually I could. I could wear like Dockers or dress pants or something like that. It's not that bad here. I do wear my special glasses when I go and get the mail. I can't drive in them yet because it has the side lenses on it and I'm not used to it and it kind of freaks me out. So once I get used to it, it'll be better. But yeah, so it's really nice. And I know July it's going to get even hotter and then we'll see what it feels like then. But for right now, it's kind of nice. Oh, Jackie, I am just waiting for the rain. This dry season is brutal. I mean, it's just like I have to like water things and everything. We did turn the sprinklers off. They had automatic sprinklers. We turned them off because we didn't want to pay for the water, for the fact that we watered the road more than anything else because there's nothing really here to water. The front yard is all weeds. I plan on picking up some clover. I went and checked. And clover does good in Arizona. It's not like it's illegal or anything like that. It's not an invasive anything. Where did my sheet go? So I'm going to put clover in that front little patch that's just weeds. But monsoons can't be, while I'm home in the house, monsoons can't be any different than the torrential rain we got in the afternoon in Florida. Now, while driving and stuff, there's times in Florida where we had to pull over to the side of the road. So I'm sure it's going to be similar here. I was thinking about it. I'm like, why do Arizona roads look like that? And I'm like, oh, I bet you that so during monsoon they have a place to pull over. I did it again. In Florida, when you have roads in the divided part where the turn lane would be, we had... plus, you don't get a lot of rain here off season, but we had little islands and they planted bushes and flowers and trees and the birds would be there and everything like that. So it was really pretty. But doing it here, it's like it wouldn't work, you know. The maintenance of it would just be too much. I think Florida's in my area, our town was a little crazy to do it because they were constantly having to change it up and everything. But... you know, it is what it is, and that's just... I'm going to overlap this just a little bit, and I left this space just to put some other thin strips in there to add a little bit, and then this won't have to need a lot, but I will, of course, free motion really tight to make sure that it makes a more stiff fabric, and I could always add some interfacing after I quilted it to stiffen it up and interface the lining. So we'll see how that goes, but I will save this one to work on with you guys during live stream so we can do it start to finish. But if I get sometime between now and wherever, hi Dora, then if I start other ones, then it's not going to be a big deal because we'll still have this one to work on. All right, so now I have these bits. Yeah, the humidity, Giovanna, that sure does make a big difference, doesn't it? So here's the bottom. I have this green that I think I will put here. I don't even worry about salvages. This has, I keep moving that basket. This has the salvages right on it. I don't care. I'll just go ahead and tack this down. Of course, I could lay it all out like I did the rainbow and just do it as we go. But if I have these big pieces, I can at least tack it down. Again, I can feel it hitting the interfacing here and there. I could put my sheet down, but this is an easy iron to clean. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So I'll just take this piece, and since it's this kind of a random project, I can put it anywhere. So maybe I want to make it to fit right here. Even if it's going to end up getting cut off, I'll overlap it. You can use a little glue stick. I'm just going to use the tip of my iron down the center, just so it'll hold it in place, so when I pick it up I can move it around a little bit. Or again, you can put your pressing cloth or your non-stick sheet. Hi, Rose. Rose, I've been chatting for a while. We're going to stay long enough just to fill this up, and then that'll be it. I've well medicated myself. I took some migraine meds. I take Excedrin migraine, and my head feels a lot better right now, so that's always good news. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I don't want it to be over picky, but I want to be like the green fabric. I might be a little pickier. So I have a lot of big bits, but I want to try to use up some of my little bits first. And I have weird bits. Like I said, most of them I gave to you guys, or I sold to you guys or whatever in the scrappy package. So I don't have a lot of small ones, which makes this a lot faster. Yeah, it really helps, and my doctor said that it was safe for me. I wasn't going to damage my kidneys or liver or anything by taking it, because I could take it once, 2 pills once a day, and he said if you take it every day, you'll be perfectly fine. Thanks, Dora. I think it's really fun to just play. Now, of course, I did press these down, but if I want to put this underneath, with this interfacing, it's really easy to lift it up, which is why I should just wait. I just wanted to get those down. So I'm going to work on this one section from the green, the center bottom strip up, and then I'll go from there. So I have weird bits. Maybe I want to take, I have been in the, I don't need it to be a perfectly straight, but maybe I don't want this wonky bit. A lot of times when I put my scraps away now, ooh, I just put a new blade in my other rotary cutter, and I can feel this one needs it too. That's the one that I used for cutting all of the Stripology strips. Hi, Gwenny. We'll see you when you're done hanging out on the other live. Oh, Liberty scraps. Yes, they're too expensive. Those are the good fancy stuff. You definitely don't want to get rid of those. You know what? I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm just going to put that right there. And then I have this one. See, I have a little bit there. So while I will be slightly picky, I'm not going to stress too much. I'll put that one there. I have this long skinny bit. Oh, that might change my whole idea. Oh, but it has that there. So what if I go against everything I just said and I put that right there? Then I can go through. Here's a safe spot to tack it down. You can see every time it lifts up that, I touched it with my iron. But having an iron that you don't mind getting the fusible on, because maybe it's your older iron and you got a new one, it's really helpful to be able to do that so you don't have to worry too much. So let's just kind of put it out of the way so you don't stick it to it. Here's that big piece there. And having the bigger chunks, it really does help. Oh, like I have these long ones. So maybe I just want to put this one completely on here. And these have the glitter on because Christmas ones always seem to have glitter. And I fall for it every time. So by using it up on your scrap basket, if you don't want to use it in your projects anymore, you're not wasting it and feeling like you're throwing away money, because fabric is not cheap. While we always thought fabric was a bit of an investment, now it really is. So being able to use up all of our scraps is good. Oh, that these irons, you have to be careful. They do get very, very hot. Now, this is one of those projects that will create a lot of little bits all around on your table, so you have to be willing to have a little bit of a mess, but it's all right. This one's not too bad. And of course, you can just do this with one piece of fabric. You don't have to use scraps at all. It's just a good way to use up the scraps. And again, turn this into a pillow, a tote bag, whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be a basket. And if you can't wait for me, I'll put a link in, hopefully if I remember after the live stream. I didn't even think to put it in, even though I thought about the video. There is an Easter basket live stream and a standalone video where we made this style basket. So you can see all of that if you want to check that out. Yeah, well, now, Giovanna, you could use like random weird fabric for making baskets and bins and pillows and stuff. I think for quilting, if you want to use something that's not meant for, it's not really a good quilting fabric. I mean, even silk and satin you can still use, you just have to interface it and stuff. But you can go ahead and use it for things like this, for pillows. If you're not going to wash it a lot, then you really can get away with using non-quilting type fabrics. I'm not going to save that little bit. We can be crazy, but we don't have to be totally crazy sometimes. I'm just going to say goodbye. You know, sometimes we just say goodbye. And even if we want, we can put the same fabric right on top of each other. There will be one that splits it, but I think, yeah, that came from right there. No, it didn't. You're crazy, Robin. They just all look the same. But I'll put something else there. Put that there. And sometimes, yes, I will go into my regular fabric and I will cut a piece of fabric and create a scrap out of it specifically for something. I don't viscous, plasticky, viscous, stretchy. I'm not really sure what viscous fabric specifically would be. But there's always a way to do something with it. Especially if it's something like a wall hanging. Wall hangings can really be whatever fabric you want them to be. Look at me acting like this is the only fabric I have when I have a whole bag and I have this bin here still. Like this fabric. Okay, this fabric is a nice fabric, but it's not what I'm crafting with anymore. And I could put the whole strip down, or I could cut it up into scraps. Hi, Linda. Texas, heat ramping up here also. Yeah, well, we're finally getting into the fact that it's going to be June soon, so summertime is coming. Say goodbye. Now, things like this green fabric, I could put it in my green scraps. I don't need to have it specifically in, you know, here. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this green up at the top, so if it gets quilted and it gets cut off and then the binding covers it, I really won't mind if it's a fabric I don't care that much about. I do watch my placement of favorite fabrics. If I specifically want a fabric to be somewhere, then I need to be careful not to, you know, put it somewhere that's going to get cut off. I have a little bit of interfacing here, so I'm going to tuck that scrap. I never throw away the fabric in the scrap bin until it's like 3/4 full or full, because I always go back in and dip in for something or another. It can be made of wood fiber or straw or even cotton, but it's how it is made that makes it feel silky, but it's a natural fiber. And you put it in for clothing. Hi, Linda. Welcome, welcome. Oh, here it is. I'm like, where did it go? And then this is going to go over. I might say, ooh, I really want this to go under, but I'm just being picky and I tell myself, knock it off. Knock it off. If it keeps bothering me like I know it's going to, I'll go back later and lift all, I can do it right now. Lift all this up and tuck it under because I'd rather see these fabrics. I just ripped it, but it doesn't matter because interfacing can be glued back together and held on by its own glue. So if I just take this, I know, picky, picky, picky. But sometimes if things bother you 3 or 4 times, and even if it's something silly like this, then I say go ahead and fix it because if it's going to keep bothering you, it's going to ruin a project. If this fabric shows, I don't care, but I'd rather see more of this scrappy strip than that. See, look at that. No fingers were lost in the fixing of this problem. Ta-da! See, I think that, and to me, that looks better. I like that better. And if you've lost all your glue ability and you have pieces that have come off, just use a glue stick or some school glue. Just remember, if you use a glue stick, the glue stick glue will come through when you heat it up and stick to your iron and leave a mess. Yeah, Rose, you like it too? See, yeah. Like even these strips, okay, it would be better if they were underneath, but I am going to be super nitpicky. I think because these are sewn together, you want your eye to kind of follow that all the way. And sometimes I just get ahead of myself. Oh no, I popped the seam here. What will I ever do? Nothing. Nothing at all. And by tucking these under, you can sometimes get a piece that is, it's going to cover more area than you thought it might. I don't know. Usually I don't do the gluing down. I usually just have it all out here on the table and I'm not like chatting with people and trying to figure things out, but sometimes it happens. I ripped apart a pinwheel block 3 times and still got it wrong, then I kept it wrong. Exactly. Been there, done that. For those of you that hung out when we did the 3D pinwheel and I kept turning my fabric and I couldn't figure out, making the block was super simple, sewing it together. Robin was struggling. Now this one, and I don't mind if it goes over on this fabric too much. I mean, I might, but I don't. It'll be fine. Some days just feel more particular than others. And if this is going to be about the bottom, this could be on the bottom too, for all I know. Alaska Crafty Gal Victoria, hello, hello. Pinwheels, yeah, pinwheels are tricky because you want to get your points. You don't want to lose your points and stuff. And it can be, you know what, that's irking me. It can be a little bit difficult. Oh, I kind of like that one there. If your points are a little off, it just seems so noticeable. See, interfacing like this is great. The ones that don't stick very well. When I use this interfacing and I want it to actually stick, I go through and I heat it for a really long time, and then I take my blocks and I really press down on it and make sure it sticks really well. And there's still no guarantee that it's going to stick all the time. Okay, so I'm going to want that to be there and that to be there, and I'm not going to stick it down this time. That one's already stuck, but I shall move it. Oh, that'll work there. I broke my fingernail. I don't even know how I did it getting ready for the stream. I went to scratch my face and I literally scratched my face because a whole chunk just came out of my fingernail. And I apologize if anyone can see my hands and now or in the upcoming videos. The allergic reaction really made a mess, just like I'm doing right now with the glue on this. That's what I get for doing things like this. I glued this one down really well. It's like peeling off a label on something. Once you get the corner just right, then you can get it. There we go. There's that. Let's get a piece under there. So that I can go ahead and heat this one up and be done with it. Trim this off. I feel like I can't hear you guys talking anyways, but all of a sudden it's like the AC is not running. I don't hear the jets going by, so it's like everything is just very quiet all of a sudden here. And even if I have a spot that shows, I can come back and glue a piece down when I'm quilting it. So as I'm free motioning, if I have a spot that I think I'd covered and I hadn't, I can always tuck an extra piece in, use a glue stick, glue it on a little bit, or just hold it in place and free motion it in as I'm working on it. That's the easy part about this. Thanks, Giovanna. I have orphan blocks that I can cut up and add strips to the mix. I ordered a few yards of fusible interfacing for 60 cents a yard. Yep. My fur babies, well, since it's almost 12 o'clock, I gave everyone they had breakfast, and then they had a brunch, early lunch, and I can see Mocha is underneath my bed, and S'morezies is on top of my pillows giving me the eyeball, asking me why I'm still talking and why haven't I shut up yet. Because she likes it quiet when she's sleeping. Silly girl. My girls don't like yelling and stuff like that. It bothers them. They like a nice quiet, especially for nap time. Now, I also have these scraps. I don't know if I did it or someone else did it, so I can use these. Let me put something up here just so I can close this. Now, isn't this pretty fabric? I'm pretty sure that's something I bought. Now, I might have gotten some more from someone else, but it's very pretty. Oh, here's one. This one's skinny. I don't have any more of that fabric that I didn't like, do I? Nope. So I have this. I like this fabric. And this fabric wouldn't bother me too much if it was on top of versus under, but we will go ahead and do this anyway. Because we did it before, we'll do it on all of them. Take my iron and just give this a little touch. After your last live, I pulled out a bunch of 2-inch squares and have been sewing a bunch of 4 patches. Nice. My plan for next Friday's tutorial on the 24th is, I've known this technique. I saw it years and years ago, like decades ago, when I first started quilting, how to take... Okay, let me see if I don't think I have my math right, but how to take charm squares and get 4 patches out of it. How to easily sew 2 charm squares together to make 2 4 patches, 4 4 patches. I don't remember, but it's going to be next Friday tutorial. When the brain doesn't work, it really just stops working and there's no hope for it. I can sit here and try to think forever and I might get lucky and come up with the thought process that I had, but Imagine if you hear what we are saying, I would go nuts. Probably. Oh, well, I'm glad it was an inspiration to you. I know a lot of people really enjoyed that video, even though it was like super long and stuff. But I love when you guys. All right, hold on. Either the air kicked on or there's a. Yeah, the air kicked on. I have a stack of Walmart bags because I had Walmart delivery today. I really wish there was a way to like give them your old fabric Walmart bags and they give you new ones and you just kind of like, but I know for like sanitation type things it doesn't work. But anyway, the air conditioning kicked on and the bags were fluttering. I want to fold them and put them in to use them in my bathroom trash can. A lot of people got inspired from that video, and that's what I always want for my videos. I want everyone to just be like, hey, I got this great idea because I saw you do this, you know? I'm like, awesome. And your idea was great. I wish I'd have thought it too. So now you inspired me, and I'm going to use your idea. So now I have these funky shapes, and I should be able to use them like this. I don't need to have it underneath there because it'll make it harder to keep everything fused, but I can add that piece in. And that covers up all the, is it two, it's 2 4 patches? All right, thank you. I just like, the 4 patches have 4 fabrics. Am I getting 4 4 patches or 2 4 patches or how much? I'm like, ah. So that's what we're going to do. It's a really simple way. It's also like when I saw Missouri Star, you put the 2 squares together, like 2 5-inch charm squares. You sew around all 4 sides and you cut it on the X, and that gives you 4 half square triangles. You just have to be careful of the bias. I love those. Oh, look, perfect. As if it was meant to be. I love that technique too, and I'm really careful because I don't handle my fabrics a lot. So once I learned how to properly press iron and not stretch them, and how to unstretch them and stretch them to get them to come out to the right shape, things like that are really enjoyable. I like them, I like them, I like them. You can do this and make placemats. There's a lot of things you can do. And if you're making stuff for like kids aren't going to care, especially if you use a lot of their favorite fabrics. Like this. Now, this really isn't a robin fabric, but you know what? If someone sent this to me, and I'm pretty sure they did, and I'd never worked with this, like I'm not a brown gal, but I love working with brown. I'm just not drawn to it, and I don't purchase it myself. But I like to have brown in the fabric in the projects and stuff. So when you guys share your scraps, I can play with it a little bit and not too much. I do love snowflake fabrics, and I love them when they're like this. Just stay away from the sparkles, Robin. Stay away from the sparkles. I'm only going to take a little bit off of here because I still want to have room for, whoop, right off the edge of the table. There's that. Starch, starch, starch. Oh, no, yeah. I haven't even bought, I need to put starch on my list. I don't think I have a bottle of starch. I did find a box that said main craft room. So I don't know what's in the box yet. I haven't fully, or did I unpack it? I don't know. I'm still missing things, you know? Like, did I not bring my containers of starch? But why wouldn't I? It was a brand new container. So I don't know where it is yet. I'm still looking. I'll put you there and go underneath there and over there and under here. But over there. It's like weaving. I've seen people weave fabric for projects too, and I'm really just not quite into that. Okay, this looks like it's all covered. Now this is a great project if you're looking to practice free motion quilting, because if your back gets a little weird, it's really not that big of a deal. Could your stitches come out? Sure. But you can always take this and put this right back underneath the machine and quilt it right through the lining. You can remove your binding and redo your quilting. As long as your quilting and your free motion is only a little bit eyelashy, you can always quilt back over it. But projects like this are great because it's scraps. It's technically ugly, you know, to say. We don't say it's ugly, but it's not going to matter. You can practice. If you already free motion quilt, maybe you want to practice doing a Christmas tree, or you want to do pebble quilting, marble, circles, whatever it's called, and you want to practice writing your name in cursive while quilting. Projects like this are great because you're really not going to see it. Oh yeah, I've heard about it with vodka. Brown with yellow and orange, that's the one that you don't do too much. Browns, creams, and tans. The 4 patches are going into a scrappy quilt. That's going to be really nice, especially for husbands who don't want anything too bright and colorful. Now, you're not supposed to really do from the interfacing side. It doesn't do very well, but I can put a pressing cloth or my cookie sheet, then that's basically what it is a nonstick cookie sheet over it and press through that. It's not my favorite way to do it, but I have, excuse me for reaching, I have one of these room essentials. It's like a bar cloth, they call it, a bar towel. So it's this really thin, funky material that's always wrinkled, and I put that on top, and I can press it by using that. I keep that over there, and I use it when I use the spray adhesive, which I just like to show if anyone's ever curious. This is I use the Heat and Bond, Spray and Bond. It's expensive. I probably use too much. I'm trying to be careful and not use as much, especially when doing things like a hot pad. I'll use it on this project when I put the batting. I find that I did a test with 2 tote bag panels for the same tote bag. Now, nobody can tell. I can tell because it's right here and I'm looking at it, but when I did it, I spray basted with the Heat and Bond on one panel, and then I did my matchstick quilting. Everything stayed in place. You know how when you're quilting, the fabric kind of bubbles up a little and it pushes off to the side, even with a walking foot? When I use that spray base, I don't do that. But when I put the pins in, there's nothing holding the fabric down but pins. And when you get to the area and you take out the pins, that fabric is kind of loosey-goosey. And when I look in it, I can see, like with the crosshatch and stuff, you can see in between the stitching is a little bit looser and raised up, where when it's glued down, it stays in place and nothing moves. So it really makes a big difference. So I've just decided it's part of doing business, and I'm going to keep purchasing it. My husband loved blue. Blue, blue, blue. That's probably why I have so much blue, too. Hi, Jody. Oh, no. Jody, you should sign up for the emails unless you don't look at your emails or you're tired of all the emails, because do you guys who do the emails, did you get an email that the live stream started? And I know over on my patrons that waves, yeah, exactly, Giovanna. Thank you for the help. You know I need it. My patrons, the ones that actually are at a tier, they get a notification. I try to send it out 10 minutes before the live stream. Well, since I started early, I probably should send it out a little earlier, but I do it at 10 minutes to 11 so they can get their email and come over here and hang out with us. I'm going to take this one up too. Plus, once you see it, if you're actually on YouTube and you see it come up in the morning, if you click, you got one, Sue? Great, so that works. If you come in and you look like, I don't know what Saturday it is, but Robin goes live on Saturday. So if you come in at 8 or 9 o'clock my time and you look at my channel, it'll be there and you can click notify me. You'll get a notification that may or may not help you, but at least you'll get a notification. Because I'm always like, okay, 20 minutes to so-and-so's live stream. Well, I'll never remember, so I click the notification so that they tell me. Now these are going to be different, and I don't mind. I'll just add this in. Oh, that one's cutting it close. So that there. There we go. Okay. So some of these, like I have this one. I have this list of things that I want to do this summer with my little bit of extra time off. I have a list of have-tos and want-tos, and I have a Christmas mini quilt with this that I haven't done yet that I would really like to finish. It's almost done. Just not yet. So I want to pull out a lot of my projects. And I was thinking when I work on some of those projects, maybe I'll just set the camera up and do a time lapse while I'm working on it. Oh, thanks, Giovanna. Did you update your address in the newsletter last time? No, Jackie, that is on my list for this summer. I haven't done anything with those newsletters. They just come automatically. So I have to, one, find the company, find the email, find my sign-in information, and do all of that. So that's at the top of my list. I've tried to change it on my Etsy. It does change when it says shipping from, and it'll give this email address, this zip code. But when you just look at my shop, it says that I'm in Cape Coral, Florida still. I haven't been able to change that. I can't find a way to change it. Etsy is having a glitch right now and things. Oh, I thought I had one somewhere. Look at that. Etsy has a glitch right now and it's starting to hit more and more creators, but it hit my page sometime last year. So I need to, they're on my list of getting a hold of to fix that problem. Because I can't do certain things and set up things for shipping costs and stuff like that. So I need to change that. I'm hoping that anyone who is hanging out with me and getting that email, that they know enough that I'm in Arizona and not to go by that until I can get that changed. But thank you for the reminder. I wrote all kinds of things down here in my notebook that I need to get done, and I'm just going to go one by one. Check them all off. And then if I have anything else, I'll check in with you guys and be like, hey, did I get it all? Did I miss anything? And you guys can let me know. I need to sign up and have my business registered in Arizona. I haven't done my inventory for the new year, so I'm already behind 5 months on doing my tax stuff. Not that I have to do anything other than have it done ahead of time, so at the end of the year, it's not a big, long, drawn-out process. So that's one of the reasons for the summer break. That's like the main one, to get all those little things done. And I'm going to keep making a tutorial every week, so that gets me ahead. So when we get into the Christmas season and everything, I'm ahead of the game and I'm not running behind. Oh, Jackie, yeah, you're going to have to email them. Anyone who gets a new Etsy shop now, there's like a $15 entry fee to start it up. And that's supposedly they're doing that to keep all of like the spammers and stuff out. And they think that it's working. So it must be doing good for them. Look, we're almost there. I just need this long skinny piece and this is perfect. I'm going to leave the salvage bit up here anyway. And then... oh, is it going to be? It should be just enough. Of course, it's so ragged, so in some places it's wide enough, and other places it's not. Let's see what we can do. Tuck you under. Huh. Don't worry about tucking it under. Okay. So there's that. There's that. I need a piece that's really thin there. So let me see. I have plenty, I have lots to still work from. But things like this, it's great to use these. I was searching the other night and it was like 10 o'clock at night when I couldn't sleep and I was checking something and I ended up going, you have to go over to like Reddit and see all the different things and read all the different things. And someone gave out information that something happened in an Etsy update and it changed people's country of origin, which then stopped them from being able to create shipping profiles. So the only way for me to make a listing is if I copy an old listing. I can change everything on it. Otherwise, I can't put the shipping weight in, which then means I can't finish the listing because I have to tell them how much it weighs. So I have to go a roundabout way. And I've been going a roundabout way because I didn't notice it right away. I thought it was just a weird glitch. But as soon as I changed to Arizona, it kind of like stopped my shop from a lot of things. I put all the key fobs in. I have the tote bags in. And another thing in the summer is I want to start doing the Advent stuff. I'm getting fussy. I get a little fussy towards the end, don't I? I try not to be too fussy, but I want these strips to be on top, and I want to have there, and I want just a little bit there. But you know what? I think the level of fussy one way or the other is okay, because, I mean, you guys have to listen to me be fussy, but overall, it's your project, and if you end up getting a little extra fussy, at first I thought you said I was getting fuzzy. Hi, Cindy. So I hate to say it out loud, but you guys know I say it all the time. I need to get the fabric postcard and note card clubs up and running. I think I have almost every color of scrappy fabric postcards, so I can do that. I need to start purchasing like holiday fabrics. I've been collecting birthday fabrics so that when I do the cards like this, you guys have seen my holiday cards where it's just one piece of fabric, like a pumpkin fabric or Christmas tree fabric or something like that. I need to make more of those so I can list those. They did really well last year for the holiday cards. So there's just so many things that I feel like I'm, so far behind. Not the have-tos, but the should-tos, because if you're going to run a business, you kind of want to be profitable. Funny how that works, right? Well, hi there. So glad you can pop in and hang out with us. I'm the invisible Robin hiding over here in the corner. So this will cover all of that. I could tuck that. So I want to have that on top, I think. I want this edge not noticeable. No one's going to know. It's not going to be on the shelf. It could be on the back of the shelf and no one will see it. But as we're doing this, I want this to be a straight line. We'll put that there. I'm going to tuck that under. Now I have a spot there and a spot there to fill in. Excuse me, what shall I do? How about some of this? It's right there, but it can be here too. So I can just lay it down and say, oh no, I have to be so... See, that's crazy. It's like I have to be precise and then I have to be not precise because I'll just do whatever. That covers that. And if I want, and I say I've had enough, I can even put that in there. But for scrap projects like this, really, this is stuff that would have ended in someone's trash, right? I mean, you saw me pull things out of the trash. Yeah, I know, particular, but sometimes when you look at it and like if you can just do that, then why not? Why not? Tuck you back under. Really not a fan of that green sparkly fabric either. I love certain greens, grass greens and bright greens, but I'm not a big fan of the dark colors. You said in the beginning that you didn't want to be fussy. I know, I don't want to be fussy. I start out not wanting to be fussy, Giovanna. You've been here long enough. You know, I'm not accurate from start to finish. I just kind of, I don't want to be fussy. I don't want to say, okay, like I can only, oh look, there's 2 green fabrics here. I can't have these touching. I just need to make sure it's covering all the glue. I don't want to be that kind of fussy, but I do want to have certain things like if I'm going to use this triangle fabric, I want to see the triangle. And now because I put those 2 scraps there, it looks like the triangle is on top of those fabrics. Again, y'all aren't going to see it. Nobody's going to see it. I'll probably get in trouble if I say y'all over here in Arizona, huh? Nobody's going to see it but me, but when I do see it, it's either going to make me happy or it's going to make me irritable. Now this one, I would probably put the green on top because it's on the bottom. It'll make it look like it's the bottom of a bag, like when you have a leather bag with the leather on the bottom and then everything else up atop. But that's just a, hey, you know, a thought to think about. That's it though, right? So there's that. Is it all glued? Pretty much. So now if you put your iron onto this, it doesn't stick as in glue, but it kind of sticks as in like a non-slip surface stick. My cat, oh, this one? Yeah, someone sent this one to me. That was a gift, and this is what we're making it off of. Afterwards, when we get off the live stream, I'll go in the description box and I'll put the video of my version of this. Basically, there's a 1 hour basket, and it used to be free, and now it's paid for, but it's the same simple idea. It's really just a short tote bag, and you can have the handles here. I prefer the handles here. And these make really nice little doll carriers for little kids, and they make great Easter baskets. Ooh, look, there's the fabric. When we made the Easter baskets that time in the live stream, and that's probably, I'm pretty sure, I do a lot of the before my husband passed away, and I'm pretty sure that video was before, possibly even before Rob got sick with cancer. All right, so I just put this down. I like to press it from both sides because the fabric is thicker than the fusible, and this is a closer contact. And then I just do this. My uncle and cousin lived in Texas forever. Yeah, I don't think y'all is a problem. Arizona say y'all too? Okay, good. I tell you, I get the strangest looks when just random people I was passing someone in the parking lot, and they kind of looked a little like haggard after shopping, even though they didn't have any packages. I'm like, hello, I hope you have a nice day. Or I'll just say, hello, have a good day, you know, whatever, you know, something along those lines. And they just look at me like I'm a lunatic. And I just, in this area where I'm going, at the times that I'm going, and the people I'm seeing, because I know it's not like this everywhere, nobody holds the door open for anyone. Nobody says hi. Nobody smiles. There's just like, not unfriendliness, but not, you know, basic chit chat that you would do with a total stranger while in a parking lot and stuff. So it's just weird. Hi, Janice. Yeah, I'm having fun. My headache feels better. I put Voltaren gel on my neck, and now it's just a little bit stiff. Think about the worst crick in the neck you've ever had, like when you wake up in your neck and you can't turn it one way or the other. And that's like, on a scale of 0 to 10, that's probably about a 6 for me. So on the days where it's like miserable, it's much worse than that, and the pain is just terrible. But I'm good. I did all of my stretching. I did all the medication that I could over the counter and prescription, and I'm feeling a little bit better. Sometimes for me, the mornings are just harder. It's like you have to walk it off a little. You know, you have to get your body going and stretch it a little bit and get it to wake up a little. And then I feel pretty good in the afternoons. All right. And that's not every day, so it's not like it's not a big deal. It's just a good thing that I'm able to stay at home and do my work here. I'm over here ironing the pressing board like, oh, look, la-da-da. Now remember, this P44F, it's P44F, always reminds me of Nemo when they're doing a P. Sherman blah, blah, blah address. Anyway, it's not permanent. It's not going to stay and hold it very well. I wouldn't be tossing it around and shaking it and moving it a lot, especially with the little bits, because you have bits that aren't actually 100% touching the fusible. I break out a y'all frequently, my aunt from Georgia. I say hi to people all the time here and give a big smile. You have to get rosemary extract. It is great for the memory and headache. Yeah, the memory is a side effect of the medication and stuff. And also because when when things get inflamed, when the neck gets, it's a nerve thing, but the muscles, if you have like a certain amount of nerve damage, that hurts, but the muscles around it try to compensate, and the muscles will get inflamed. I found this out with my shoulder too, and talking to the therapist, the physiotherapist, and the orthopedic and all that. But if this part of your body hurts, the muscles around it will get inflamed to protect it. And then that inflammation causes its own issues. Now, the inflammation, I found when the inflammation is down, it's just raw pain. So it's like, I don't know which one you want more or less, but you know, we all have something that we're going through. And I'm just glad that we can all, and that I can still do some crafting. And even on a day like today where I'm not feeling my best, look at what I've created. I didn't have to think, even though Giovanna teasing me, I didn't have to think much about this beyond, you know, what kind of looks good and what doesn't. These parts are overlapping, so they're really not being glued down. So that's why I'm saying you have to be a little bit careful. And this doesn't have a lot of glue on it. If you look at the medium weight interfacing, the glue dots are bigger and they hold it better. But this is what it looks like. And when it becomes a basket on our next live stream, I will do the free motion quilting, but this will come up. So this is what the side will look like. These are going to get the boxed corners. Look at me. It's like doing a diaper or something. So this is basically what it's going to look like. Now remember too, for those of you that are just starting out on your scrappy journey like this, when you look at this and you're like, oh, Robin, that is the awfulest, ugliest thing. So maybe you don't like this, but when I do like the blue bin, it's going to be all blue fabrics. So it's going to coordinate more and it won't stand out so much and be weird, scary looking. But it's like string blocks. When you trim the string blocks, it looks nicer. When this gets quilted, the quilting will compress a lot of the colors and fabrics. And when you look at it, it won't be as bad. It won't look so weird and funky and like I just opened up my scrap bin and dumped it down onto this fabric. When you guys come back next time on the next live stream on June 4th, 11 a.m. Arizona time. Remember, check for Arizona time because we don't do daylight savings time here, which is not too weird until you start looking at everything else. Yeah, Anna, you have to smile and open the doors and stuff like that, right? It's just something we've always done. It's just being nice and polite. Some people just don't want to be bothered. They're not having a good day. They just want to, sometimes you just want to be grumpy, you know, you have to go out. All right. Most of the time I've been home all by myself for, you know, days and days and weeks, and I hardly talk to anyone. It's just me and Robbie right now. And he leaves the house at 7:30 and doesn't get home till 5:30 Monday through Friday. So it's me and the cats. Oh, cat story. I'll tell you that in a second. A cute cat story. So, you know, when I go out, I kind of want to be like, hi, how are you? You know, interacting with people. Your birthday? Jody, I'm terrible with your birthday. Your birthday's June 1st, or is it nearby? We'll celebrate Jody's birthday. Everyone bring cupcakes, cake, cookies, ice cream. Oh, since we're doing it virtually, you can have wine and champagne. We can do shots of Jack Daniels, all of that fun stuff, because if it's not real, then we can all enjoy it. Yet many don't know it about the muscle thing. Rosemary oil is great for inflammation and for brain fog. You do it too? I'm writing it down. I don't rosemary oil. Inflammation is a hard word to spell. Oh yeah. On days like this, I can't even write very well. Giovanna does a great job at cheering everyone on. She really does. So I'll see what I can come up with. But yeah, I don't do those oils. the essential oils and stuff. There's like a lot to it, and I just don't have the brain capacity to learn another new thing. Please wear a hat and mimosas. Good for hair loss. Well, knock on wood, I'm just doing the normal hair loss. I've always had, since I was 18, I've been on thyroid medicine. Excuse me, so far it's been pretty good. But dehydrated, hold on. So anyone on here or on the replay, if you guys want these strips of fabric, just let me know. I can put these in a little envelope and they can go with just a regular stamp locally or internationally. There's some thin bits and then bigger bits. Otherwise, I think I'll probably just end up tossing it, or I'll put it in one of the regular scrap baskets and it'll go in that. That's another thing I haven't done because it's not safe for cats, they say, to just do the diffuser. So we don't do that. But if there's something that I can just, like they have, I've seen people, they have like the roll on and they'll like roll it on here and then they'll just smell it. They'll put it on their pulse point and they'll just smell it every now and then. That I can handle, but I won't do a diffuser. Between the asthma and the cats, there's a lot of things I don't do. Oh, cat story. Let me tell you the cat story. I was over here working, I think it was just yesterday, and I had the big iron sitting over there. And for those of you that know, when you do the Oliso iron and you touch it with your hand, these little legs go away. And when you let go, the legs come out and it raises up. It's a very heavy iron. I love a heavy iron. But it's so you can go like this and not have to constantly go like this, which is really, this, if you think about it and you pay attention, that's a lot. I can feel that all the way up my arm and into my bum shoulder. So it's really great to be able to do that. But this goes like this. It goes, and around the corner is my bathroom. There's no door to it. And I have we'll just say a PVC little bed for the cats. It's a rectangle, like a cube almost. So they sleep on the top of it with the fabric and stuff. Something I picked up at Target like 12 years ago. Little S'morezies, my tiny girl, was sleeping on it, and she just likes to chirp and talk a lot. She's gotten to the point as she gets older now. She's, I think, 8 or 9 this year. And she does, you know how you get up out of bed or out of your chair and you're like, ugh, and you make those noises? She does that. But every time this went, reet, reet, she thought it was talking to her, and little S'morezi was in there going, meow, meow. I'm like, why is she talking so much? Is there a problem? Is her claw stuck? No, she was talking to the silly iron. So I'm like, you poor thing. Is it disturbing your sleep? Because the iron goes, reet. S'morezies goes, reet. I'm like, oh, that is so cute. I wish I'd have recorded it. Giovanna, you want it? Giovanna, if you send me an email, because you guys know the memory is terrible, you send me an email and I'll leave it there. Put your address in. I have it somewhere, but it's always safer to give me your address, and I'll put it in an envelope and send it in the mail to you, no problem. I have worked out the size basket I want to make. 15 by 15 should be perfect with a little over for 4.5 by 5 baskets. Facial tissue, yeah. Probably not our pharmacies, Giovanna. They want you to take drugs, but the health stores. Rosemary oil and coconut oil in a roller ball and use, yeah. I think that, Terry, I can handle, but not. Yeah, the pets, aren't they so silly? Because I'm like, S'morezies is always so quiet, but when like it's feeding time, she screams at me. My cats know not to weave in and out of my feet because I trip over them and step on them and kick them across the room. So they learned not to do that. My daughter's cats have not learned that habit yet, so they're constantly all around me. But she's a very quiet cat. She doesn't normally talk a lot until she wants food or to tell me something. So I'm like, why is she making all this noise? What is wrong with her? No, she's just talking to the iron. So those of you guys that came in late, if you don't catch the replay, this is the bag of Christmas scraps I'm working with. I had them in the plastic containers, but it was easier to pack all the plastic containers. I stuck them together into my grandfather's Foot Locker hope chest type thing. And then I put the fabric all on these so I can put them in boxes and stuff. I have probably, I don't know, maybe 20 boxes left to unpack. Some of them are just going to get put right into bins and stored in the garage. but I'm still finding, I found a box of fabric the other day. It was full of fabrics. I haven't found my polka dot fabric yet, so that's floating around somewhere. So that's one of the things that's on my list to go ahead and work on this summer, is to get my closet set up. I did the simplest thing. I took one of the shelves from the floor and I put it on top of one of the heavy duty wooden shelves that are really secure on the shelf. And that opened up some more floor space, and that was like the perfect option for me. So I'm going to make these bins for my scraps, and then I'm going to take those plastic bins and put them on that shelf so I can put things like the register tape in it. I have soap making supplies. I might have some like felt stuff and scraps that don't go in my filing system. So things like that I can put in those containers, and I won't have to buy anything new. I do need to go to Target and pick up some new containers. One of you, when you sent in your community blocks, sent me some orange fabric, because I'm always saying I need orange fabric because I use it so much. I have this one. It's one of the shoebox ones. It's the 6-quart. This measures, can we see? Does it have it? No, there's no measurements on it. It's just a basic shoebox. But I was folding up the eighths and the quarters and stuff like that. I keep the fat quarters in a larger one. And then these, if I fold them right, they just fit so nicely in there. And then I can organize these by color. So when my scrap bins have, when I cut into a fat quarter, I don't want to put the fat quarter back into the fat quarter stash if there's a significant amount taken out of it. Because if I'm like, oh, I can see a blue fat quarter right here underneath this table, then I don't have to worry about it. I have it, but then when I go to use it and it's got a whole chunk taken out of it, it's not good. So this way I can put it in here, and I can store my fat quarters and my quarter yards and eighth of a yards. I'm going to get another one a little bit bigger than this. Let me show you. These are the new ones I bought when I moved into the kids' house when I didn't have my basic setup. I've shown these before. They're the 16-quart. This one is 17 by 11.5 by 6.5. And these fit, I have my charm packs in here. So I want to take that background fabric, low volume. It's always hard for me to remember. I want to put my low volume and start a collection in here. But these fit the fat quarters really nicely. These are the charm squares. I do have a bigger one for fat quarters, but these fit the charm squares nicely. And then I can put the ones that I've already used a little bit over here. So I have a lot of fun ones, and I have some 2.5-inch ones. And I think I'm not going to buy very much yardage anymore unless I specifically need it, like white background and black and gray and stuff. I really like buying the quarter yard and eighth of a yard. And then the charm packs are great for making certain bags and stuff like that. Feed your brain. Oh, and it helps with the migraines too. That would be nice. Yeah, she's just talking to the iron. She's a silly girl. Yep, I have those too, Anna. I have one. It's right next to my bed. I had bought 2 of them, and I'd been paying the money for them, one for my daughter's room and one for mine. But now that we're in this house and my daughter bought a cat tower, her cats are sleeping in the living room. So I'm not going to pay the $10 a month to run a diffuser in an empty bedroom. So I just have mine. Now this room is too big for just one diffuser, but my cats spend most of their time in their beds under my bed, and then there's my bed and about this much from away, and there's a wall and there's a plug, so it goes right underneath my bed, and I figure that's enough. If it diffuses and it misses and goes all the way to the other part of the room, they get enough to start with. You can eat a drop together with the coconut oil. Ugh, that doesn't sound tasty though. Oh, look at that. I saw a video on Instagram recently. Nope. I saw from the Stitching Post, this lady was doing like a trip around the world or the star quilt or something, and she was using 3-inch wide strips, and she's doing a class on it coming up. And she had these long rectangle containers, and they were about 3 inches wide, and I would say, because she just folded you know, you cut it off the bolt with the fabric, which would make it about 21 inches. So I think they were like 22 inches long and 3 inches wide, and they had these lock caps on the sides. And she just laid all of her strips in there for the entire quilt, locked them in, and she's ready to go. And I thought, that is nice. So I was looking on Amazon because I'm not paying like $25. They sell them in the shop, but I buy things from the Stitching Post, but things like this iron, this specific iron, they're selling it for $500. And I paid like $2.25 directly from Aliso. I know there has to be a markup so that the shops can make money, but that one was a little crazy for me. So I'm not going to spend $25 on a plastic container when I can get these on sale for like $5 at Target. I was looking on Amazon, and Amazon has those long ones too. So for those of you that like to save jelly roll bits or strips of fabric like that, I'm always wondering what to do with my novelty bits and if I can cut them into strips and put them in a container like that. I saw them at Amazon, but they weren't super long. I think they were only like 12 inches because they're meant for pasta. But that's something to keep your eye out for if you're looking to organize and get things all situated. I'm always looking for ways to hold my fabrics neatly so that when I'm ready to go, they're right there and I don't have to go looking for things. Because if I have to look for something, I'm either going to buy something new or I'm going to cut into yardage. I lost my bag. You can't see me, but I'm spinning around like a maniac. Use those for my stripes, neatly folded. It doesn't have to be tasty. It has to work. True, very true. You can always eat something afterwards. Yeah, the price was crazy, and I get it. And I've seen it in Etsy shops, but I've never seen one for $500. And I thought, I'm sorry. I hope they sell them, and people who can't get them anywhere else can get them. Maybe it's a shipping thing or something, but I'm sorry. I have to be careful. I might go crazy and spend too much on Amazon for silly things that I use, so they're not necessarily silly, but that buying the iron was a big luxury, and buying 2 of them was a super luxury. But between the hurricane, selling my house, moving with the kids, and moving here, I wanted a little something that's going to make me smile all the time. I have our diffuser in the hallway where it can work for all 3 rooms. We're also using the calming probiotic supplement in Sylvester's food. He is so much happier. When I was at the kids' house, my cat's fur always smelled funky musty, not dusty, but funky, and that's the closest thing I can come up with. And I found out that it's when they're stressed and they're putting out their pheromones or hormones or whatever they're putting out, that's the smell. So when they're happy, my cats smell all nice and fluffy and clean. And when they're upset and scared, they get that funky smell. So I'm like, okay, now I know that smell means they're stressed out. Because I never smelt it before because my girls were never stressed before. Life was always easy for them. I store my jelly roll strips in a drawer in a cabinet in the sewing room. Yeah, now that I don't have a sewing room and a fabric room, I have to kind of figure things out. And if I'm going to put them in, the closet's really nice here because it has the air conditioning vent. Has the air conditioning vent so it keeps the air circulated in there. And I'm in and out of it all the time. Here's a silly story for you. For those of you that saw the tour, I have a water closet. So the toilet's in an actual closet. You open the door and shut the door. That's here. The bathroom sinks are here and the closet's right here. I don't think I get sidetracked. I go in the closet and I look around and I'm like, there's no toilet in here. What am I doing? I never go into the toilet room looking for fabric, but I always go into the closet looking for a toilet. I'm like, people, if they ever saw me and didn't know, they would think I was senile and I'd have to go in a home because I want to pee in the closet. That's what happens when you give me weird rooms that I'm not used to. I try to do weird things. But that's it. We've been going a lot longer than I expected. I am so happy too, Anna. They were so stressed out. I was so worried about them. Well, they're my baby girls. These two rooms, it's and the bathroom, it gives them enough space. It's like a mini apartment. And they also go out into the living room and kitchen. When my daughter's cats are sleeping, my cats, they put their head out the door and they're like, everything quiet. And then they go out and they wander around and inspect everything. But people here randomly ring the doorbell and there's just knocking on the door, and there's always a salesman, a solicitor trying to do something. I think I'm going to have to put a sign up. I've started collecting business cards in a Ziploc baggie to see how many we get, because we had 15 in one day. One person gave us 5 cards. I mean, it's crazy. They're putting them in our car windows where the little rubber gasket is on your door. They're sticking them in the side of the garage door. They're sliding them under the garage door. They're putting them in the screen door and in the door over there. And I'm like, people, one card's bad enough, but you need to put one in every place. And how dare they touch my car? My daughter's car, someone broke into her gas cap and siphoned out a full tank of gas. So we all have new gas. I have a lock on mine. She has a new lock on, a new cap on hers. She don't want a lock. But I'm used to having locks, so it doesn't give me a problem. Yeah, Giovanna, they have plenty of space now. This is enough for them to move around. They race around and do flips. My girls treat my bed as a trampoline, and now that I went from a twin-size bed to a full-size double bed, and tiny little s'moresies, and even my big girls, they run and they jump around and up and down and around, and it's fun to watch them play like that. All right, so come back on the next live stream, 11 Arizona time. On the 1st, we're going to celebrate Jody's birthday, but someone has to remind me, because even if I put it on the calendar, I will forget. And I will have this quilted. And if for some reason I don't get it quilted, we'll just do something else. But I should have it all quilted and ready to go. And if I get wild and crazy, I might make a different one and have that quilted and made into a bin or basket like this, because I know a bin is the garbage over in UK, but it's a bin here. Bin or basket, no handles. At some point, I usually just tuck the handles in. I don't want to cut them off, but I could. I might have one done ahead of time. We'll see. I doubt it, but it could happen. Crazier things have happened. I will have the lining all ready to go, and then we'll just sew it all together, put the binding on, and we'll be happy campers, and we'll see what it looks like. Free motion quilting all over it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the Whip It Wednesday. My daughter comes home tomorrow, but she leaves out on Wednesday morning. I'm not picking her up, but I am dropping her off. Her flight leaves at 9 in the morning, so we need to leave here about 6, 7 o'clock. Share your birthday with everyone. Robin, it's Jody's birthday. Thanks, Giovanna. I'm not going to remember. As soon as I turn all this off, I will totally forget. They still ring the bell? Rotten solicitors. That's what I told them. I said, if you annoy me, I'm not going to buy anything from you. I said, I know it's your job, and I'm sorry. It's like, being a spam caller that you have to go through the spiel and everything. And sometimes if I get bored and lonely, I'll just let people talk to me for a while. I tell them right off that I'm not interested, that we're renters, and if you want to stand there and keep talking to me, that's on you. I'm always upfront and honest. But sometimes I like to know. Like this gentleman came, this young gentleman, he was selling, his family does pesticides. So I wanted to know, are they natural? Are they not? Will they kill this? Will they kill that? He's only been here for a few weeks. He came in from California to help his family. I'm like, that's nice. I've been here for a few months from Florida. He's like, do you like it? I'm like, no. I said, do you like it? He says, yeah, I love it. I'm just not used to it. I spent 45 years in Florida. It's going to take me more than 3 months to get used to Arizona, especially if I just stay in here and hang out with you guys. You can call me. I'll call you. Like, hey. Oh, yeah, you make that now. All the cats run. They're scared of the doorbell or the knocking at the door. So Amazon occasionally will ring the doorbell, and Walmart deliveries always ring the doorbell, but I only do Walmart once or twice a month. So, all right, so if anyone has any questions, I'm not doing fabric postcard giveaways on a regular basis, but if anyone's feeling kind of lonely and you want something in the mail, send me an email. I added that email down below. I'm going to be doing a video soon. I only have a couple people that sent me their works in progress and what they've been working on. So if you want me to show what you've been making on a video with or without your name, because I have no problem saying just someone made this. You don't have to give your name, whether it's your flower garden, your sourdough bread, your cute little animals. I can save up animal photos and we can have like one day we do all the animals. I have two, maybe three people sent me emails with some projects. So that'll be just a quick little video that'll pop up. My patrons, come on back tomorrow. I have we did a flying geese project with them. Check on the Patreon page. I do have a community block that has to go up. Let me show you guys a community block real quick before we leave, just to make sure I show it, so in case I forget it somehow again. But this one took several weeks to come from Canada. Look, those are swimming goggles. So that's fun fabric. And this one is a funky beaver with the suntan lotion. So aren't those fun? So thank you so much. I'm going to be laying out the blocks real soon, and I will put them in 2 columns for the door to see what I can come up with. And we'll go from there, and I'll start working on that soon. And as always, there's always the second one. So if I need to get more of these. I love storing projects in these, and then I just work on them. This one's actually for my Christmas stars with my patrons. I just borrowed it. So that's going to be coming up soon too. If I've forgotten anything, I don't know. My apologies. You guys can always leave a comment. Oh, fabric postcard. So if you're feeling lonely and you want a note card or a fabric postcard, send me an email. Tell me everything. Tell me nothing. Just give me your name and address and say, hey, I would like a little pick-me-up. And I may not send them to everyone, but I will do my best and send them out as I can. Yes, Charmaine, that's Charmaine's block. Yes. It took forever, didn't it, Charmaine? But they're there. They're so much fun. They're very cute. Oh, Giovanna, sneaky, sneaky. Hi, Gwenny. I'm glad you're back, but we are finished up and we are heading out. We just did all the rambles. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to press the off button. I'm going to go grab some lunch after I clean up my mess. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Check the Patreon page. It'll be coming up. But if you haven't looked at the community quilt blocks lately, you can go and scroll through all of them. They're really fun to look at. Oh, now I just remembered what I wanted to do for a live stream today. Isn't that funny how that happens? Oh my goodness, Robin Suzanne. My middle name is Suzanne, by the way. And when I'm in trouble with myself, oh, Robin Suzanne. Here's a sneak peek. I finished the top for my patron quilt, but someone had sent me the extra fabric to do extra blocks, and I wanted to make flying geese with you all, and I totally forgot. That's okay. Oh, like I said, I will record myself every now and then doing a project. So during the off months of June and July, just to pop something up for you guys. I don't think you're going to notice that I'm gone at all. It's just going to be different from me. But as I'm working and doing stuff, I will just set up the camera and record it. Maybe do a voiceover. Maybe I'll do the dreaded music at a nice quiet level if that's possible. And you guys can just see what I'm working on instead of having a tutorial Friday. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You made the first 2 minutes and last minutes. Excellent, Gwenny. You did a great job. That's okay. If you get bored, you can always run the replay. Bye, Trudy. I pick my iPad and the rest is history. It's a cold day in Seattle of nowhere, so I'm going to sew all day. I am actually feeling better, and once I get some food in me, like I said, I tend to do better in the afternoon. I need to finish scheduling my Patreon post. I will probably go ahead and cut the batting for this and maybe the faux backing and get this all spray basted so it's ready to go. And after that, I want to sew together. I know, Robin never leaves. I heard it's a sign of ADHD to do this, But I have all of, my daughter and I laugh because we can never leave the car. The car is always sitting there talking. But I have all my stars ready to go. So I might sew that this weekend and get them turned into a quilt top. If anyone's interested, this quilt top, and it will, well, I mean, you could purchase it as a quilt top, but I'm going to turn it into a Christmas stars quilt, and this will be going into my shop. During my summertime of getting everything done without worrying about, whoa, tutorials, I was connected to the cord. I also want to work on my Advent. So my very first RS Island Crafts 2024 Advent stuff is going to get worked on and get listed after the end of the summer. But say goodbye, Robin. Bye, Robin.